All right, today we're diving into a book that, let's be honest, has sparked a ton of conversation and controversy all over the world. Jordan B. Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. It's pitched as his antidote to the chaos so many of us feel in modern life. So what's it really all about? Let's get into it. So right from the get-go, the book hits us with this really interesting paradox, something that's right at the heart of being human. We want total, absolute freedom, and yet at the same time, we're desperately looking for structure and rules. This conflict is pretty much the starting point for the whole book. And this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. As Dr. Norman Doidge puts it in the foreword, this search for structure is a deep psychological need. It's just part of our wiring. Okay, so before we can talk about the antidote, we first have to understand the problem, right? The book frames our modern struggle as this timeless battle between two fundamental ways of being. And he calls these two states order and chaos. Now, it's really important to get this. Order isn't automatically good, and chaos isn't automatically bad. Think of order as the known world, predictability, stability, the stuff we understand. Chaos, on the other hand, is the great unknown. It's uncertainty, but it's also where all the potential for new things comes from.
And here's the kicker. We need both. If you have too much order, life becomes stagnant, even oppressive. But too much chaos? Well, that's just terrifying and destructive. The argument here is that a meaningful life is found by walking right on that line, balancing between the two.
So if life really is this tightrope walk between order and chaos, how are you supposed to actually do it? Well, the book's core solution, the antidote, sounds almost too simple. It's all about taking on responsibility. This right here, this is the core principle. The idea is that a meaningful life, the real antidote to chaos and despair, isn't found by just chasing happiness. No, meaning comes from willingly picking up a burden and trying your best to make things better. And this is the perfect way to think about it. It's not about trying to save the world all at once. The fundamental idea is to start with yourself. Get your own life in order first, and that positive impact will naturally ripple outwards to your family, your community, and then the world. All right, let's get into the rules themselves. The first few are all about this inside-out approach, starting with you. And rule number 1, believe it or not, gets its inspiration from a really surprising place.
Yep, lobsters. And I know what you're thinking, what on earth do lobsters have to do with anything? Well, they're used to make a point about brain chemistry and social hierarchies that's literally hundreds of millions of years old.
So it's actually pretty fascinating. When a lobster wins a fight, its brain gets a shot of serotonin. It physically stands up taller, it gets more confident, and it's way more likely to win its next fight. The loser, on the other hand, gets less serotonin, its posture actually droops, and it tries to avoid conflict. It's this powerful feedback loop. And the argument is that our human brains run on a very similar ancient system. And that brings us to rule number 1. Stand up straight with your shoulders back. You see, it's not just about good posture. It's a physical way of telling your own brain that you're ready to face the world, that you're willing to accept responsibility. You're basically jump-starting that positive feedback loop yourself. Okay, rule 2 starts with a question that might hit a little close to home. I mean, think about it. If your dog needs medicine, you make sure he gets every single pill right on time. But when a doctor gives us a prescription, a huge number of us just don't take it properly. Why is that? The book's answer is that it comes down to a kind of self-loathing. We know all our own secrets, right? We know every mistake we've ever made, every flaw, every failure. And deep down, there's a part of us that feels like we just don't deserve the same care we'd give to someone or something we see as innocent. And so the solution is rule number 2. Treat yourself like someone you are responsible for helping. Stop waiting to feel like you deserve it. Just act like you do. Give yourself the same consistent care you'd give to a friend or a family member you genuinely wanted to see succeed. So, once you start taking responsibility for yourself, for your own well-being, the next logical step is to look outward, to your environment, and, crucially, to the people in it. This leads us right into the simple but incredibly powerful idea behind rule number 3. Make friends with people who want the best for you. Now, that sounds so obvious, doesn't it? But it's something we get wrong all the time. The real danger is getting caught in this kind of downward spiral. You might tell yourself that you're helping someone, but so often, if you hang around with people who aren't aiming up, they just end up pulling you down to their level. It becomes a really destructive cycle. The alternative, the goal, is to surround yourself with people who hold you to a higher standard. The kind of friends who won't put up with your excuses and who will actually be happy for you when you succeed. According to the book, that is what a real friendship is about. This leads to a huge problem. especially today, right? The curse of constant comparison. In this quote, it's just brutally honest. It doesn't matter how good you get at something, there is always someone out there who's better. If you play the comparison game, you are going to lose. So what do? You stop playing that unwinnable game. And that brings us to rule number 4. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday, not to who someone else is today. The only person you should be competing with is you.
So you've really got two mindsets to choose from here. You can be the critic, constantly looking at what everyone else is doing and always feeling like you're coming up short, or you can be the builder, focused on one simple question. Am I a little bit better today than I was yesterday?
And that, right there, is the thread that kind of pulls all these early rules together. It's not about some giant overnight change. It's about taking responsibility for the small things you can actually control. Find one thing in your life that you could fix and that you would fix, and then just do it. That's how you begin to bring a little more order to the chaos.
So we'll leave you with that thought to chew on. These first 4 rules are really about building a solid foundation, and it all starts with you. Forget about fixing everything by next year. Just look around. Your room, your schedule, your relationships. What's one small thing you can make just a tiny bit better today?